quickly as we can. So if there's a question out there, guys, obviously Travis Head, who was the player of the series in the most recent Ashes series, played 4 tests, 357 runs at 59.5, including 152 at the Gabba and 101 at Hobart. So if you've got a question for Travis, please raise your hand. Steve Larkin has gone in the chat box, but we'll go to you first, Steve. Steve Larkin from AAP.
Hi, Travis. Those numbers, when Cole reads them out, sound pretty good. Have you had time to reflect on the Ashes? And I guess, does that set a bit of a benchmark for you going forward in Test cricket?
Yeah, I had some nice time over the last little bit. It's been nice to be back around the squad. Been in Melbourne for a little bit now with obviously the T20s as well. So I guess there'll be a stage at some point where I can, have more time to reflect on it. But hopefully I'm reflecting on, what's to come and what's a really important series for us moving forward. And, I think that's the past a little bit now. And I guess the goal is now to continue what I've been able to build on this summer.
We saw some pretty unusual video of Marnus and what he was doing to prepare with his setup. How have you gone about it? What do you expect from the decks in Pakistan? And I guess, have you done anything different than you normally would for an overseas tour?
No, I think I spoke about it a little bit a couple of weeks ago with Rambo. I think it's hard to really know what we're going to come up against or what the conditions are going to be. So, no, I've just been really sound. I did take a little bit of time just to chill out. I got a couple of weeks at home before that Shield game. And then once I got sort of in the Shield game, got into work. And then the last, week has been the same. It's about loading myself up and getting myself ready. And then once we land, trying to understand the conditions as quickly as we can. And then, come up with that blueprint on that plan. But it's a little bit of the unknown at the moment. So just staying really relaxed and in the moment in that, and not trying to overthink what may potentially be coming over the next few days once we arrive. And then, but once we do, just trying to get the landscape and then get underway.
And a bit off topic, but you mentioned that Shield game. I guess, how does it sit with you when you see what happens with Will Pekowski and his battles as a bloke who probably knows him and has played against him a bit? But how does that, I guess, sit with you as an opposition player and when you see something like that happen to Will?
Yeah, it's obviously wasn't great. Obviously, his health is the most important thing, and in that game, that was, I guess, without seeing or being around that moment, and then just realizing he's gone off the field, it's just more so making sure that everything was okay. I spoke to a little bit over text, but just sort of sending my best wishes. And I spoke to a couple of big boys over the last few days. So he seems in good spirits and hopefully can get back into it, whether that may be. And but yeah, I guess during the game, it was just more so his health with the unknowns of actually what had transpired. So everything I've heard is good in terms of his health.
Thanks, mate.
Drew Jones.
G'day, Trav. Just one on training today. David Warner copped a fairly nasty, painful-looking one. Is he okay? Yeah, I saw he left the net straight away.
I went for a run and then didn't train. I watched the boys, so I'm not sure. We just it was pretty optional today, so blokes just did their own thing. So when I left, he seemed okay. And I just seen him coming back into the hotel room. So me and Harry went for a run and come back. So I wasn't around the nets much today. I just watched a bit. So I'm not 100% sure on that one.
No, fair enough. And just on the tour coming up, obviously you'll be expecting pretty spin-friendly conditions. So we're going to see you bowl a bit more?
Again, I'm not 100% sure on what they can do. I've spoken to a few people and they've said spin friendly. I'm speaking to others that they've got a pretty fast attack, I guess, or filled up attack. So the weather doesn't look like it's going to be extremely hot over there. So I guess last time we went to subcontinent, went over to Dubai and played against them, it was extremely hot and spin friendly wickets. So we'll wait and see if needed. I guess the hard part for me is we've got the off spinner that's got 400 test wickets. So when you look for a bit of variety, it will be you're probably more likely looking at Marnus because it's something different. But look, again, it's different. I'll continue to bowl over the next little bit. Once I get there and see the wickets, if they're spin friendly, I might start bowling a little bit more in the nets. But yeah, if I can help in any way, but I've probably not got my eye too much heavily on that. Continue work on it if it's there, but more worried about getting runs.
Thanks, mate.
Jasper Bruce.
Thanks, Cole. Hey, Trav. Just wondering what kind of briefings and stuff you guys have had about your security situation in Pakistan. Like, are you guys going to have people escorting you around the whole time? Like, what's the situation look like from your end?
No, the communication's been good on what we're expecting once we get there. I'm not sure how much I can or can't say about that. So I'll probably just leave it at that. And we're in pretty safe hands. So I'm not sure how public that's going to be on what the protocols and that are for us. So, but in terms of communication and how we're going to feel over there, or the protocols that are under to keep us as safe as we do to any country, we have these conversations, whether we go, whatever country we go to, about safety or risks. And as we've seen with everyone that's available in the squad, I don't think there is any of those concerns. And what they're putting in place for us is sound.
And just one more, if that's okay from me. Obviously, you chose to sit out the first few of those Sri Lanka white ball clashes to play for South Australia. Was there ever any doubt in your mind that was the right call to make? Obviously, quite a big gap between your last white ball appearance. Was there a temptation to maybe throw your hat in the ring there rather than get some red ball practice before Pakistan?
It's interesting how the conversations come in the public. There wasn't a conscious decision just from myself. There was a communication between everyone on what the best thing moving forward was. I think in terms of that originally with the New Zealand series not going ahead, I think that allowed more guys to filter back into the T20s, whether or not they were going to play both series. It was a little bit up in the air. So interesting when I did read that I'd made a decision. It wasn't necessarily down to just that wasn't my call. I want to play all three formats. But I think in the end of the day, I did get the best prep. Obviously disappointed not to play one of those games when I come back in the squad, but to get time at home, to play the Shield game, to then get back in the one-day team, I'm extremely keen to get back into that team or in those squads. But also, I think I want to best prepare myself for Test cricket. So I think we had that balancing act over the last month, which was good.
Thanks, Trav.
Tom Decent.
Hey, Travis, obviously it's very hard to win tests away from home. You've only sort of played 6 of your 23 tests away from home. Can you just speak about the importance and value placed on scoring away runs and not just you, but sort of the batting unit as well?
Yeah, I think I talked about that again a couple of weeks ago. I think it's I think what defines you as a player, your away series, and look at Smithy's record in India when he goes away in India and plays on those wickets, and it takes him to a different level. So, but on the flip side, you can't chase that. You can't change yourself. You can't try to be someone that you're not. Me personally, and I'm sure I'm talking on behalf of all the batters and bowlers, we'll all have plans on how we're going to conquer, I guess, different environments, whether that be pace and bounce or spin. So, or reverse swing bowling. So yeah, everyone will have their plan. Everyone will use each other. I got some fantastic experience around that, but definitely going away, obviously how tough I found it in Ashes away, different environments, different crowds, different conditions. It's definitely challenging, and you definitely get tested. And I think that's where you can take your game to a different level. And that's when, I guess, the outside can see that as well and have their opinion, I guess.
And obviously, Pakistan's going to bring different challenges. The coaches have said they might get a bit funky with the order as well in that middle order. If you want to play an extra spinner, as Cam Green as an all-round option, you kind of wedged in between the top 4, an all-rounder and the quicks. How does that sit with you? That sort of 11 might get tweaked depending on what these decks are like.
I think you've seen that in the Ashes in 19. When you go away, you got to be prepared to be brave in not only the way you play, but in the way you select the team as well. And I think that's probably as good as way as answering it as possible. Is that you've got to be brave in the way you play the game and pick the team. And everyone in that squad's got to understand that they're getting on the plane to hopefully have an impact on the series. And we're able to do that in 2019. We swapped the bowlers around. We played Mitch in a period, and I was playing on the receiving end of that, and was disappointed to miss. But in the end of the day, you got to pick the best team to what you think is going to win a test match or win a series. And it's going to take the whole squad to be able to do that.
Thanks, Tom. Looks like the last one here, unless there are any others. Rambo.
Hello, Travis. You mentioned how pleased you are to be back in the white ball setup after a few years. Given that David Warner's not going on this white ball leg of the Pakistan trip, are you sort of eyeing an opening role in that ODI team, given that you have done it in the past and it might be a good way to cement a spot looking forward?
Yeah, I think at the moment, probably try and take whatever opportunity arises. But obviously, if that spot's available, I've played well there and I've done it in the past. And I think anywhere in that top order, going on my past sort of couple of years in domestic cricket, batting at 3 for South Australia, but knowing I can open the batting as well, it gives us good versatility around the order and what we can pick. So, I just love to be back in the team, have another crack at it. I think it's been a long time between games, and I feel like my one-day career's come a long way. Obviously, worked extremely hard in Test cricket, but I think just that in itself has made me a better player and a more compact player, and I guess I've been able to score around the ground. So, playing international cricket, no matter what format it is, makes you a better player, and hopefully I can make an impact in that when that time comes.
And looking a bit even further ahead, does this sort of, even though the conditions might be a bit different, does this sort of give you a bit of an audition for that 2023 50-over World Cup in India, do you think, now that you get a chance?
Fingers crossed, but there's some tough series to come up. We've got a lot of cricket to go between then, from then and now. So, look, that's a stepping stone for that, obviously. If you play well at any stage, I guess you start getting yourself more involved in the squads, and then hopefully I can be a part of that and contributing to a winning team. And then by that stage, hopefully, I'm around the team. But that is a long, long way away, and we've got a couple of very tough series coming up. Hopefully, like I said, just being back involved and playing, hopefully I can contribute straight away and sort of get myself back in that mix, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Rambo. We've got one more left here. Back to Drew Jones.
Thanks, Cole. Yeah, Trav, just on you obviously are fully aware that the speculation's probably going to roll on for a while about who's going to be the new coach. So obviously there's not much you can add there. But just in terms of Andrew McDonald, who's got the interim role for now, can you just tell us a little bit about your relationship with Andrew and what he's been like so far?
Yeah, he's been, I guess, what we've come to expect from Ronnie. Having played with him at South Australia for a little bit of time and understood him, it's, I guess, some guys around BBL when he went to the Renegades and had some success and gone around the country, I guess, or around the world. Sorry, a lot of guys have spoke so highly of him. I hadn't played under him until I guess he's come back into the setup, and being back around him is great. I think he's a great thinker of the game. I have a great relationship with Ronnie, so. From tactically, as someone who I played with, I've spoken a lot over the years about Shield cricket and obviously at South Australia. So I've been able to pick his brain a lot. He's a great thinker of the game and a great communicator. So I think over the last few days, we've seen that already. So, it's exciting going into another series, something new and fresh, and looking forward to the relationship with Ronnie that I've had for quite a while.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Drew, and thanks again to Travis Head for joining us today for a chat whilst the players are in isolation preparing to head to Pakistan in the next few days. So thanks everyone for joining, and we'll catch up with all you guys again another time.
Thanks, guys.